Hey, this is Davy Boy 1970. Earlier this afternoon, had decided I wanted to make some meatloaf for supper, so I was doing a little research on Yahoo Answers and trying to find some different recipes, opinions of what people thought would be a good recipe to make really good meatloaf with. And kind of funny, but this is what I came across. Okay, the title of this article that I came across was God Does Not Exist. I have proof. Will you become an atheist now? The other day I was really hungry and I prayed to God, please send me a meatloaf the size of Chicago. Guess what? No meatloaf arrived. Not even a small one or anything. Thus, there is no God. If God would exist, he would see that I'm really hungry and send me a meatloaf or a chicken sandwich or something. Another person had commented to this Yahoo Answers. Well, I prayed that the lady who screwed up my rebate at Sears and cost me $200 would get herpes. There's another one that somebody commented on. Guess what? You are not entitled to God, to ask God anything if you do not believe in him. He hears you, but until you believe in him and ask for forgiveness of your sins and praise, your prayers will not be answered. That's a good one. I like that answer. Here's another one. You obviously haven't starved to death, and you say, the other day I was hungry. Not a couple of days ago I was hungry, and now I'm starving to death. So apparently he did send you something. You just took credit for it. I like that answer. That is an excellent answer. But I wanted to talk about this some more because I myself believe in God and I am a good Christian. And of course, anything that I say in this video is basically my opinion. So, I don't want anybody to say that I'm telling you this is how you should believe. This is basically, I'm stating my opinion and these are my beliefs. So, don't take anything that I say seriously, and you don't have to believe what you hear that I'm saying in this video. But God does not exist. I have proof. Well, let's all become atheists now because this guy is saying that, please send me a meatloaf the size of Chicago. Well, guess what? No meatloaf arrived. Well, that goes back to, I like the answer that someone had given him. Well, you obviously didn't starve to death because you said the other day you were hungry. Well, not a couple of days ago I was hungry and now I'm starving to death. So, I think that is a really good answer. That's like a perfect answer because that is stating basically what I'm believing in, is that, God does exist. God does not give you exactly what you want. God answers every prayer. God hears all prayers, God answers all prayers, and he hears everything that we say and everything that we ask for, but he does not always give us the answer that we want. This guy outrageously asked God, and this is sad because here this guy is saying that he is an atheist and that he believes that God doesn't exist because of some stupid, prayer that he asked God for, a meatloaf the size of Chicago. And somebody stated in here that, what would you do with the meatloaf the size of Chicago? You wouldn't even be able to eat the whole thing. It's true. You wouldn't even be able to eat a meatloaf the size of Chicago. Your whole city, your house would be covered. You wouldn't be able to go anywhere. You'd be covered with meatloaf. Come on. What would you do with a meatloaf the size of Chicago? Do you know how huge that would be? Really, it's sad that people sit here and they ask God for just outrageously stupid things, and then because God doesn't give it to them, they think that there's no God. It clearly states in the Bible. And some of these people, and the sad thing is atheists actually have read the Bible. And most of them were people that were prior Christians. But they're not reading the Bible correctly and they're not looking at it the right way because they're thinking that this God, in the Bible it says that God is almighty and all-powerful. And this is the argument that's, coming from an atheist, that your God is almighty and your God is all-powerful. And your God answers every prayer. Well then, why isn't God giving me what I asked for? Why don't I have a $200,000 home, and why don't I have a job making $100,000 and have a boat and driving a Mercedes and have a brand new truck, and have vacation home in Florida or a cabin up in the woods? You know, why don't I have all these things that I really want if I believe in God? Well, you know what? That's not how God works. God knows our needs. God knows our needs, and God knows what we want. He gives us what we need. He doesn't necessarily give us what we want, but He gives us what our needs are. He provides our needs. God answers all prayers. It's not always the answer we're looking for, but God answers all prayers. Okay. For example, I myself, I've lost my job. 2 months ago, I was diagnosed with a very severe spinal disease. I suffer pain every day. I'm unable to go to work now because I suffer so much pain that I can't function in normal working situations or my normal situations in life that I have to do during the day. You know, I am going to end up going on disability. I have to file for disability because I can't work. So I'm not going to have a lot of money for the rest of my life. I'm not going to, you know, and I've never had a job in my life. I've had plenty of jobs, but I've never had a job making over $40,000 a year. That's maybe the max I've made. So, you know, I don't own a fancy home, and I don't own a vacation home down in Florida or a cabin up in the woods, or I don't have boats or four-wheelers or snowmobiles or a big fancy truck. But you know what? I have what God has given me. God has given me my needs. I have a nice car that runs and drives and starts every day and gets me where I need to go. I have a place to live. I have food. I have money saved up. So right now I'm doing okay because God has provided me with money to survive so that I can eat, so that I can have things that I need, not things that I want. So, you know, and that's how God works. You don't ask God for something that's totally outrageous like a meatloaf the size of Chicago, or you don't ask God for, you know, hey God, I really want that brand new truck over there. Will you please give it to me? And then people get angry. They say, well, God didn't give it to me. Or, you know, I asked God to give me that job. There was a job interview that I had that I could have been making, and I'm just saying an example of somebody else, that I could have had a job opportunity working for a company, being a VIP, making, you know, $110,000 a year, but God didn't give it to me. Why? Your God doesn't exist. No, that's wrong. God does exist. God didn't want you to have that. God gives us what He knows that we need, not what we want. God took me out of my job because He knew that I didn't need it anymore, that there was a reason why I needed to get out of that job. You know, this disease, this spinal disease, and me having to go on disability,